them behind stage that it is absolutely phenomenal looking. I legitimately absolutely love it. It looks really cool. Why was Shameik the perfect Miles for you guys? Not to talk about him as if he's not here.
Well, don't tell him.
Yeah, close your ears, Shameik.
We've been fans of Shameik for a long time. We loved him ever since we saw him for the first time at Dope, and we've known him for a while from different auditions and things, and we've always felt like this guy is brilliant. He's so sincere, he's funny, he's cool, he's everything that Miles is. He's got a really unique, positive take on life. This is his first Comic-Con, it's his first time he's been here. Yeah, and from the beginning we were like, this guy is the guy, and we were right.
Oh man, he's so nice. Smooth talk.
I mean, comics fans, most of you guys, you've known Miles for a while, but the world at large doesn't really know him and doesn't really have experience of a different character kind of bearing this mantle. And the fascinating thing about it to me is that, the same things that apply to Peter Parker, with great power comes great responsibility. Those same ideas transfer onto another character who couldn't be more different than Peter in so many ways, and yet the strength of the original idea of the character still holds firm. It's still Spider-Man.
Anyone can wear the mask.
That is true. Yeah, I mean, I think what we were really trying to achieve too was just an interpretation of a comic book that actually made it on screen and felt cinematic, but still was beholden to the original source material, which was a comic printed on paper. And the process of making one of those, you get these imperfections, and it's those imperfections that make that medium so special. And we were just looking to try to break the computer and bring some personality back to animation, which is one of the greatest mediums for personal expression out there, and it's kind of plateaued, and there's a certain expectation with animation, and we were looking to go beyond that. And in the same way that Miles is a different type of Spider-Man, we felt it was appropriate to find a new way to visualize it.
Where did you get the inspiration for this new approach?
I literally torn from the pages of the comics. I mean, awesome. 100%. And then it was just a matter of looking at the process that we go through to make these movies, and see how visually you could translate that flat medium into a three-dimensional space and project it and still feel the scope of a large film, but also the intimacy of the page and the panel on the page, and really, one of the greatest strengths of comics is that it manages to encapsulate in one image a really succinct, powerful story point or motion or action, and in our process of animation, we really tried to achieve that same feeling.
That's awesome.
Really need you to help me save the world.
Not now. And I think Peter is... and sing, just not now.
Really? Not now, on your own time.
No, Miles. And I think Peter's in a situation where he sees this kid asking something from him and he doesn't want to give it to him. Mm-hmm. But he's so persistent. And anytime someone's really persistent, after a while, if you're any sort of a human, you break down and give in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Haley, let's go to talking about Gwen Stacy, aka Spider-Gwen.
Yes.
What excited you most to play her?
Ooh, well, first of all, I get to play a female superhero, which was pretty cool. And not just any female superhero, but the first Spider-Woman. I mean, that was so exciting to me, and the fact that she is really just the toughest and the coolest and the smartest and the most capable one in the room, and she knows it. There's something really incredible about her, and it was really... What?
I just said sorry, guys.
Said sorry, guys.
Oh, right. I know, I got carried away there. The smartest, the toughest, the coolest, and what else? No, but she's got so much to her, and it was really fantastic playing a character like her.
And what's her relationship like with Peter and Miles as well?
Well, I had fun with this one. You know, it's always interesting too, really quickly, just the process of doing this and meeting you guys and you know, not knowing you and knowing you through the process of doing this and sort of creating this, these relationships, I guess at a distance. But Gwen has, I love the relationship that she has with Miles. It's kind of, how would you describe it?
Well, she's, you know, all of these characters are born out of tragedy on some level. And the thing that's interesting about intersecting their stories is for the first time, there's somebody out there that knows what they're going through. And the thing that's so interesting to me about the relationship between, you know, Spider-Gwen and Miles and in our movie, all of these guys, is that they finally have like a tribe that they can hang out with. And here's somebody who like doesn't have a real, a buddy and is almost afraid to have a friend because he lost that friend. You know what I mean? And so the fact that like they kind of get to find each other is a really like beautiful part of the movie.
Bob, Peter, and Rodney, you guys have all these unique characters. You also have this unique style. How did you approach that? How did you breathe life into this entire world?
Well, as far as style, you know, a lot of it, you know, starts with Phil and Chris, you know, and this whole approach to the movie, which is that we're trying to push every aspect of this in a way that you haven't seen before, you know, and we're being challenged every day to think of ways to tell this story in a way that you haven't seen before. And then as far as, you know, the characters, it really starts with the book, you know, like the book, the heart of the book is Miles and his family and their relationship, and that's the heart of the movie.
Look, Miles' story takes place in an alternate dimension to our own. The Spider-Verse is basically, you know, all of these alternate ways of telling this story, and all of these different people that experience it. And the thought of this movie was, what if those different stories intersected? And what would it do? How would it shake them up? What would happen if these people met? And I think that's like the power of this character, is that we've told his story so many different ways. And like Shamik says, anyone could be behind that mask, and we can all imagine ourselves behind that mask. I think that's the cool thing about Spider-Man, and it's the interesting thing about comics culture and the fact that there's so many of these movies, that the story keeps getting told, and each time the differences and variations in the ways that it gets told, those are really interesting to us.
Awesome. All right, well, I know that everybody in the room is excited to see all of this in action. So do you guys have anything that you can show us? Even though we kind of guaranteed.
Do we have anything?
Do you have anything you can show?
Yes, we do have. We brought some clips. Some shots are not finished yet, so please watch it with an open mind. But we did say in the last trailer that save it for Comic-Con, and here we are at Comic-Con. So
it seems fitting
that we should unsave it now.
We have these amazing directors that are incredible, that put their heart and soul into what you're about to see, and we had to pry it out of their warm, alive hands to show it to you.
In an unfinished state, but here we go, let's check it out.
That was my first time watching that. I would just like to put that out there. That was amazing. Oh man.
It looks so good. The dialogue's on point. Everybody's funny. It's super charming. The art looks great. I'm just like super stoked for this.
Oh man.
Yeah. And speaking of what we saw at the very end, how many spider people are there?
Well, we just met 3 new spider people. The first one you met was Spider-Man Noir, who is indeed voiced by Nick Cage.
Yes.
Then we had Penny Parker with her robot SPDR, voiced by Kimiko Glenn. And finally...
Everybody seems to know Spider-Ham. Voiced by the incomparable John Mulaney.
He's definitely a scene stealer in the movie. So you should see it on the big screen, guys.
Well, it looks absolutely amazing. Thank you guys so much for sharing that with us here at Comic-Con. Big round of applause for our panelists.